Dreams. We all have them. Having a dream in life can provide direction, motivation, and a sense of purpose. For 19 years, I held a dream to build a great life in Canada with my family and be a respected member of the society. This dream defined everything about me, including who I married. It gave me energy and hope for my preferred future. And when the opportunity came to fulfill that dream, it crashed and I burned with my family. That hurt and left me with a scar. I don't want that experience for anybody else. We had a dream that showed Canada as our North Star. When you have a clear vision of the future you want, you get a motivation to go after it with everything you have. This dream inspired us to leave everything behind in Nigeria, our families, friends, culture, successful careers in business. We left the familiar and comfortable in search of our Canadian dream. That's what dreams do for you. And so, on September 6, 2012, we left Nigeria and flew into the city of Calgary on a 24-hour flight. We were overwhelmed with joy on arrival that travel fatigue could not even mask our feeling of fulfillment. I mean, being welcomed to Canada as permanent residents, that was monumental. Yeah, we made it. My wife decided to go back to school in order to switch careers. I started applying for professional IT jobs right away. I was ready, and Canada was going to roll out a red carpet for me. I'll tell you why. I am very qualified. I had 12 years of experience, heaps of certifications. Why wouldn't you hire me? Well, recruiters and hiring managers ignored me. I lacked Canadian experience. Until then, I didn't know that my credible IT experience and education could not be translated into the Canadian work environment. And so, I worked 3 interesting minimum wage jobs. Did you know that a new immigrant needs to work minimum wage jobs in order to earn Canadian work experience? So, in order to do that, I worked the 3 in order to earn that elusive Canadian work experience and provide for my family. Fantastic. My Canadian dream was finally coming true. My nightmare was just starting. Due to the nature of these jobs, I barely slept for 4 hours daily. I was irritable, emotionally withdrawn, and desperate. Yet, the more I struggled to get out of that spinning wheel of poverty, the less available I was for my family. I hardly saw my kids. When I got back from work, the kids were still in bed. By the time I woke up, our dingy basement was empty. Providing for my family was a mental torture. I increasingly felt like a failure. I struggled to meet our basic needs, choosing to spend our money on either groceries or gas. I felt vulnerable and considered going back to Nigeria several times. But there was nothing to go back to. We had abandoned our careers, sold our landed properties, and 2 businesses. Should I have known that my host country had no plans to help me reintegrate back into my profession? Canada, we have a problem, and it's a collective crisis. That Uber driver that dropped us off at the ER, where we spent needless hours waiting to see a doctor. He is a foreign-trained physician who is unable to practice in Canada. When we struggle to fill vacant positions in our organizations and yet overlook new immigrants because they lack Canadian experience, we are a part of the problem. Did you know that Canada is a top choice to immigrate to globally? Yet, its weakness lies in its failure to fully integrate economic immigrants. When we spend Canadian taxpayers' money to attract economic immigrants and yet look away after they arrive, we compound existing domestic issues. According to a research report by Deloitte Canada, as early as 2030, the number of Canadians aged over 65 is expected to nearly double. Combined with low fertility rates, the growth of Canada's economy will stagnate. And for an aging population, healthcare spending will increase, which will force government to either increase taxes, reduce spending, or do both. Anytime Ottawa or our provincial governments communicate their immigration plans, it's always about a quantitative measure of success. Canada plans to welcome 485,000 permanent residents in 2024 and 500,000 in 2025. In fact, starting in 2026, the government will stabilize immigration levels at 500,000. Wait, what does that even mean? Who tracks the number of new Canadians who secure their professional level jobs within the first 6 months of arrival? Who is responsible for tracking and supporting new Canadians to ensure they maintain their professional jobs in the first 24 months of arrival? Why don't we prioritize assessing where the companies are and the professional jobs are for our new Canadians? It baffles me that we prefer to judge the success of our immigration policies by counting the number of people entering our country. The Canadian immigration process itself, it's challenging, but integrating into the country after arrival is even more complex and cannot be done alone if we all want to succeed together as a nation. From personal experience and that of many others, I have seen that community plays a crucial role in addressing this challenge of integrating new immigrant professionals. 6 months after our arrival in Canada, a team of passionate professionals in Calgary extended their hand of fellowship to me. They listened to my story, understood my background, and they committed to helping me. They gave me insight on how things work in corporate Canada. That is mentorship. Then they advocated for me and got me an interview at an organization where I had previously applied for jobs without success. That is sponsorship. And 4 days after I started a 3-month internship at that organization, I was offered a full-time position with employment benefits. And that was how my story changed from earning $13.23 an hour to $46 an hour with benefits. But very importantly, I could now spend time with my family and heal from the pain of integration. I'm going to bring this closer to home. As a low-income family at that time, we were supported by the government for 9 months through access to extended medical benefits and low-income bus passes. Yet, we left that low-income lifestyle in 4 days, just because some people took a chance on me. In the last 11 years alone, we've given back to our communities in many ways. We've started businesses, hired full-time employees, and we continue to be tax-paying members of the society. In 2018, I started the Immigrant Life, a grassroots community group to address this issue. And at the Immigrant Life, we have embraced the power of community in our strategy because, as Ellen Keller said, alone we can do so little, but together we can do so much. The attractive uniqueness of Canadians is this: you've got open hearts and open doors. It's in your DNA, and that's wonderful. In fact, evidently, my family and I are examples of those who walked through the doors that you opened. You already opened your heart. You already opened the doors. And that's why we all chose to immigrate to Canada as permanent residents. However, when we as a nation attract economic immigrants, but do not help them to quickly get back into their professional careers after they arrive, we miss out on an abundant prosperity. According to the Royal Bank of Canada, RBC, this untapped opportunity costs Canada as much as $50 billion annually. $50 billion annually. Just imagine for a moment what that could do for us as a country. So here's what I'm asking us to do today. Let's extend a hand to a new immigrant near us. They are everywhere. That foreign-trained medical doctor that took us to the airport in their Uber is underemployed. Yet we have a shortage of family physicians and doctors and surgeons in Canada. The waiter at your local restaurant is likely a foreign-trained nurse with a decade of experience. Yet we have a shortage of nurses in Canada, because the ones we have are experiencing burnouts. The cashier that attended to you at Superstore is very likely a software developer with 7 years of foreign experience who is struggling to restart his career in Canada just like me. So here's a simple idea for how I think we can start. Let's pause and engage that random stranger who sits beside us on the train, the young couple that we meet at the park who looked different than us, the cab driver who took us to an Elfies event, or that individual who intentionally avoided our gaze at the library. Let's ask them, what's your story? And when they speak, let's listen intently and commit to helping them, commit to mentoring them, or sponsoring them, or better still, do both. And do it annually, or as often as you like. And when you're done, share your experience with your friends, your neighbors, your colleagues, and spread the word. Let them know that new immigrant professionals in Canada, they have dreams and do not require handouts. What they need are Canadians who will extend a hand to them, support them on their journey, give them access to professional level job opportunities. Because when immigrants succeed, Canadians succeed. Thank you.